we discussed A-Level Pure Mathematics 1, Paper 1 for May or June 2020. For question 1, the sum of the first 9 terms of an arithmetic progression is 117. So you're talking about the first 9 terms, and that would be the sum. The sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic progression is given by n over 2 2a plus n minus 1 d. And for the first 9 terms, n is 9, so that 9 over 2 times 2a plus 8d equals 117. And then you can distribute the 9 over 2. That would give you 9a plus 36d equals 117. That gives you equation number 1. The sum of the next 4 terms is 91. So to find the sum of the next 4 terms, you have the sum of the first 9 terms, and then the next 4 terms would be the 10, 11, 12, and 13. So the sum of these 4 terms here, that gives you 91. And you know that the sum of the first 9 terms is 117. From here, you can see that the sum of the first 13 terms, that would be 117 plus 91. The sum of the first 13 terms, that is given by 13 over 2 and 2a plus 12d, and that is 208. 117 plus 91 is 208. Now distribute the 13 over 2. That gives you 13a plus 78d equals 208. That gives you equation number 2. We can find the first term and the common difference. The first term is a, the common difference is d. To find the first term and the common difference, we just need to solve equation number 1 and equation number 2. So you can take equation number 1, multiply this by 13, and that gives you 117a plus 468d, and that would be 1521. And we can multiply equation number 2 by 9, so that we have 117a plus 702d. This equals 1872. So we have 2 equations here, and the coefficient of a is common. Then we can subtract these 2 equations. So upon subtraction, you'll have negative 234d, and this is negative 351. So d here would be negative 351 divided by negative 234, and this gives you a value of 1.5, which is the common difference. To find the first term, we can substitute d equals 1.5 into equation number 1. Then we have 9a plus 36. d is replaced with 1.5. This equals 117. So that 9a here is 63, and a is given by 7, which is the first term. So the first term is 7. And 2, the coefficient of 1 over x. So you have reciprocal of x in the expansion of these two binomials here is 74. You need to find the value of the positive constant k. K is the coefficient of x in the first term of the expansion. The coefficient of 1 over x for the first binomial plus the coefficient of 1 over x for the second binomial add to 74. So we shall consider these two terms separately to look at the coefficient of 1 over x. So we consider the first binomial. You have kx plus 1 over x to the 5. For this binomial here, the r plus 1 term is r plus 1 term. The r plus 1 term that is given by 5cr kx to the 5 minus r and 1 over x to the r. So for this case, you can write this as 5cr k to the 5 minus r, x to the 5 minus r, and 1 over x to the r becomes x to the negative r. And we can group these two together so that we can have x to the 5 minus 2r. We need to look at the coefficient of 1 over x. The coefficient of 1 over x is also x to the negative 1. So the coefficient of x here, which is 5 minus 2r, we equate this to negative 1 because we are looking at the coefficient of 1 over x. So from here, 2r is 6, and r here is 3. So for this case, we say that the coefficient of 1 over x for the first binomial, that is given by 5c3 and k to the 5 minus 3. And this gives you the value of 10k squared. So that is the first one that we have. Now we consider the second term here, which is 1 minus 2 over x to the 8. For this second term, the r plus 1 term is given by 8cr. You have 1 to the 8 minus r and negative 2 over x to the r. Now, 1 to the 8 minus r is just a 1. So that gives you 8cr, negative 2 to the r, and x to the negative r. And we need to look at the coefficient of x to the negative 1. So over here, if you let negative r to be negative 1, r is 1. Then the coefficient of 1 over x for the second term is 8c1, negative 2 to the 1. And 8c1 is an 8. Then 8 times negative 2 gives you a negative 16. The sum of the coefficients is 74. So for this case, we take this and negative 16. So 10k squared minus 16. That should equal 74. And isolating k, or 10k squared, that gives you a 90. So that k squared is 9. Then k will be equals to 3 since we are looking at the positive constant.